This is an instructional video for the drummer boy of Shiloh and the pre-reading vocab practice assignment that will go with it. Okay, since this is a pre-reading vocab assignment, this will take place before we read the story. So there's a couple parts to this pre-reading vocab assignment. Part 1 is a vocab study, and it asks to read this passage for section A. So I'll read this with you here. Since the soldier was so many miles away from the battlefield, the sound of the gunfire was muted. But as he crept closer to enemy lines, he could only hope that it was loud enough to cover his approach. He knew he had to move carefully to avoid possible traps that someone might strew in his path and to evade capture. If caught, he could not say that he was legitimately in enemy territory. He could face imprisonment or even execution. At that thought, his expression became solemn. Yet without information, many lives would be lost. He grew resolute and more convinced than ever that he had to succeed. Taking a deep breath and straightening the branch he had knocked askew, he continued his perilous spying. Okay, so after reading that passage, you're going to choose which bold-faced word from that section above or the passage fits the definition given. So we'll do one together for part 1, section B. You're just kind of looking at what is in the paragraph using context clues to make an educated guess here. So number 1, being in compliance with the law or lawful. Does that mean askew, legitimately, muted, resolute, solemn, and strew? So in compliance with the law. So law is kind of our key word here. We have muted, strew, legitimately, solemn, resolute, and askew. Now, I'm going to go with legitimately here because if caught, he could not say that he was legitimately in enemy territory. So he knows that this here, his situation was against the law. So I'm going to mark that as legitimately. So that's that section there, 1 through 6. Part 2, you get a word bank with those same 6 words. You get the part of speech and the definition, and you're choosing the word that best completes the sentence, starting with number 7. Let's do 7 together. The funeral of the governor was a blank affair with everyone wearing black. Well, a funeral is a serious affair, and if you look at our definitions here, deeply serious matches up to solemn. I'm going to mark solemn for number 7. So that's the case through number 12. And starting with number 13, you're choosing the word or phrase that is closest to what that word given means. And again, you can use that chart up here if you need to again. So for 13, the word is strew. Strew. And the definition here means to spread here and there or to scatter. So which word best means to spread here or there or scatter? Well, scatter is right there. So that is 13. And that section goes through number 18. Now, the last section deals with idioms. Idioms are expressions where the entire phrase means something different than the individual words. You might know some of these idioms, you might not. There's a chart. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 idioms. Blood is thicker than water. Dressed to the nines, goosebumps. A red letter day, bone of contention, calculated risk, brown baguette, at the drop of a hat, and hit the ground running. So let's just, as an example, hit the ground running. You don't physically hit the ground. It just means to start something and continue with a fast pace or enthusiasm. So make sure you check out the meanings of all of these 9 idioms before you move on to the last section. So number 19 through 28, you're going to choose one of these idioms from the chart and use it to complete the sentence. So 19, Myra's parents were blank when they went to the opera. So you have all these choices there. Well, when you go to the opera, you kind of have to be kind of fancy. It's a fancy affair, so they're going to dress sharply, or dress to perfection. They're going to dress to the nines. So Myra's parents were dressed to the nines when they went to the opera. And each one of those idiom phrases are going to be used through number 27. And that's it for your pre-reading vocab for the drummer boy of Shiloh.